We thank all of you for coming. Every one of you is part of this campaign to take back our nation.
This campaign is so proud to honor the organizing legacy of César Chávez on César Chávez weekend.
I am honored to read his own words in a prayer that he wrote God, asking for guidance for his farm worker struggle. Show me the suffering of the most miserable, so I will know my people's plight. Grant me courage to serve others, for in service there is true life. Let the Spirit flourish and grow so that we will never tire of the struggle, so that we can change the world.
Mr. Chávez brought national awareness of the dangers of pesticides to workers' health, earning him the respect of many, including our candidate's father, Robert F. Kennedy Sr.
I am here to honor César Chávez because I knew him personally, and I know that if he were alive, he would be here for sure, 100%.
César Chávez was able to accomplish incredible things by creating the union that he did. And we're all here to celebrate that man and the greatness that's behind him. I did some research about Dolores Huerta. They asked her, why did you choose Kennedy? She said, we chose him because he never asked us what to do. He said, what could I do for you and how can I help you? I was very fortunate to have a meeting and sit down with Bobby Jr. at his home. With an incredible amount of sincerity, he said to me, Al, how can I help you? What could I do for you? And I realized that that was the Kennedy way.
Last year, I met Bobby when he came to Yuma. He saw firsthand hundreds of people from around the world coming in illegally all hours of the days and nights that he was there. In fact, over 9 million people from over 170 different countries have come in the United States illegally just in the last 3+ years.
Many of us in our country, we feel that there is no hope. But Jesus is with us in this dark hour. This evening, as Mr. Kennedy and I had a word, I told him God has brought him for such a time as this. He's coming to bring our country together.
The next President of the United States, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I'm so happy that the state of California has designated this weekend César Chávez Day, a holiday in California. I'm very, very proud to participate in helping people celebrate his life. In March of '68, César had done his first fast because of the violence of the young people in UFW. My father came out in March and broke his fast by giving them communion. César Chávez was a very, very close friend to my family. César had two very large issues. One was the border. César wanted to secure the border because he understood that all of the undocumented migrants who were coming across were easy prey for unscrupulous employers. And they could take advantage of them and pay them much less, and it was impacting and impeding his capacity to get good wages and working conditions for his own workers who were legal and unionized. One of his primary issues after that was pesticides. Pesticides disproportionately injure Hispanic farm workers. There's 56,000 Hispanic farm workers who are severely critically injured by pesticides every year, and their children are terribly, terribly affected by those exposures. Because of my role as an environmental lawyer, I worked with United Farm Workers on dozens of campaigns, on crusades. The issues that affect working poor in this country and middle class disproportionately affect Hispanic voters. Issues like the minimum wage, but mainly the affordability of food, of gasoline, of housing, of health care. 57% of Americans cannot put their hands on $1,000 if they have an emergency. And if you are part of that group and the light comes on in your car, it is the apocalypse. Because you know you're not going to be able to pay the mechanic, and your car's going to die, and you're not going to get to work. You're going to lose your home. You're going to end up on the sidewalk. And that's more than half the people in our country are in that level of desperation today. And a lot of those are people of Hispanic descent. The things that really matter to our lives in terms of making our lives more affordable, making food and childcare and healthcare and housing so that we can afford it, that will never happen under this system. We need to change the system. And right now, I'm the only candidate who's talking about doing that. I know I can unravel this and fix Washington. Why is that? Because the fulcrum of this problem is the capture of our agencies. And I've sued almost every one of these agencies. And when you sue them, you get a PhD in how to unravel corporate capture. I've sued FDA, CDC, NIH, EPA. Are you tired of the government lying to you? Today's Democratic Party is trying to end our right to vote, your right to vote for me. They're trying to get me off the ballot in this state. They're spending millions and millions of dollars to do that. I mean, I was very happy today to see the protesters outside, and when our staff interviewed them, they said, yeah, we were all paid to be here. Their posters were all written by the same guy. One of them had a poster that said, shame on you, RFK, for stopping the COVID vaccine, which, by the way, I didn't do. But it said, shame on you. And one of our staffers said, did you take the COVID vaccine? And he said, hell no. Oh. And they all said, yeah, we were paid to be here. We don't care. But I'm glad, because I'm glad that the DNC and the White House are finally doing something to help poor people in this country. I'm about to do a press conference after this. I guarantee you, and most of them are going to say to me, are you a spoiler for President Trump or President Biden? That's what they want to know. And I say, well, I want to spoil it for both of them. We just need to convince enough Americans that they're done, that enough is enough. We don't want it anymore, and we can change it. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.